Hi there. Welcome to the studio above the clouds. I was just getting ready to glaze. I'm doing a bunch of glazing and was getting ready to glaze the bowl that uh, that we made live like 2 weeks ago or something like that, week and a half ago. And it occurred to me, wait a second, I should probably impromptu here go live and just go ahead and share these so that you have the full process. Because again, this is one of the things, the kind of things that we'll do in classes. So I just kind of impromptu went live, cleared off a little space here. My little glazing station was right there, but all the stuff's pretty small, so I'm just gonna whip it over here as we work. And this is the dried bowl now. So if you look back to the prior video, we did a real simple, real basic, kind of what we do in a beginner first, one of those two-part classes where you have three bowls that we do. We do a pinch, a coil, and a slab, and this was, of course, a basic coil. So this is what it looks like dried. I have not bisque fired it yet. I really like to do, I've gotten very, very into single fire here recently and have had a lot of, knock on wood, not to be dramatic, but a lot of luck with it and really like it. So I'm going to single fire this piece, which means that rather than take this greenware and put it in and fire it to get bisque fire, and then do the glaze after that, I'm going to do the glaze on greenware, and so it behaves a little bit differently. This is thirsty for one thing, so it's going to soak it up. So it'll behave a little differently, but not super dramatic. It wasn't at all hard to kind of transition and learn the difference. So we'll do that. I haven't the slightest idea what I'm going to do on it. So I don't know how fancy I'm going to make this, but I think because this is the kind of thing that you might want to do in class, I am going to do some design and stuff on the outside, just kind of so you get an idea. I've got some underglaze, and then some glazes to put over that to give it to impede the porousness, and then some shine to put over that as well. And so we'll do that, and I'll figure out exactly what I'm going to do with this bowl, and it'll probably in total, this will probably be another half hour ish, probably a little less than that, but you do have to let things dry in between. It dries super, super fast when you're talking about greenware, though. That's not something you really have to wait a lot of time for. All right, let me focus you down onto this so you're not looking at me, you're looking at it. And then I'm going to grab my underglazes and get them over here with a paintbrush, because this really is like painting for a little bit anyway. What I'm going to do some designs on the outside, some lines, and maybe, I thought there was something crawling on my leg, some lines, maybe some flowers, some stuff like that. I think as we're talking, I think that's what I'm going to do. And then I might do some corresponding stuff on the inside as well. And so we'll do that. We'll sign it, because since it's greenware, we can still etch into the bottom. And so I'm going to etch into the bottom. I have a stamp, but I don't use it. I like to draw into the bottom. And we'll do all that. Yeah. So probably 28, 30 minutes. We'll see exactly. It'll be interesting to see exactly how long it took. So it's 4 minutes, 21 seconds. Ta-da. All right. I'm going to focus you down. Bring you in a little closer. Whoa, things are falling apart. There you go, man. Now you've got it. There's a bunch of other greenware over here. All right, so Let me get a couple of containers. I want green. I think I want red. I think I want yellow. And then I want this crocus. Oh, do I want some blue too? Why not? A little blue. Let's go all in. All right, so this is under glaze. It's a much smaller container that we're going to deal with. All right, put those over to the side. And then the brushes. So for a little while, this really is very much painting. And you can also put, depending on how you're doing this, there are glazes that you put under the underglaze, and then you might do this glaze on top. We're not doing that right now. That's not how I'm handling this one, but you can also do that in some cases, depending on what you're using. I want a spinner, and the bottom of this is not pretty. I did not go and finish it. I think kind of the good news when you only take the 15-minute break from it that we do in class, you finish off this bottom a little bit more. Not too bad, but it could definitely be, there's a little, you can see where the edge is and whatnot. I just didn't come back to it, but it does have a nice collar on it right here. All right, so turn it upside down because I can get at a little bit better there. And I think I'm going to do a couple of flowers. Let's do some flowers. All right, shake that really well. I'm not going to go too crazy because I've been using this on and off. This has been gotten a good shake several times. There's a whole bunch. I should have shown you before I moved you around and pointed you down. There's a whole bunch of already glazed stuff over to the side. Bunch of mugs. Bunch of mugs. All right, let's just say something viney. See how thirsty that is? How can you see that? Just sucks it right in. But that gives us one vine straight across from that. It's going to be, yes, so scientific. The noises were necessary for that to work out. Sound effects. Where did I say that was? Meow. Big old space there. All right. No, I don't think that's what I want. I'm going to do a flower there. Yeah, okay. Yep. Did I not? Yeah, I just made that one super small. Wow. All right. Is there anywhere else? Yes. All right. That was a really close up of my arm. Sorry about that. Wow. righty. I should probably have you on the left side. All right, flower. I should have brought brown over here too, but that's okay for the moment. No. I'm not incapable of using my left. Basic things. I have to get close up with my arm. That's disturbing. All right, so let's think about a flower, simple flower of some sort here. I like something that's kind of sunflowerish. I always like yellow flowers. I like red flowers too, and blue flowers, purple flowers. Yeah. I'm not really making that particularly. I'm not working on the petal shape. Kind of letting the brush do the work. And then I'll come back and fill in where I did not do such a good job. Yeah, I think I'll do another one. I was debating whether to do another one in this particular yellow. Another two, really, in those two places, or switch over to this other yellow, but I decided to go ahead and go all in. This is called crocus, and then there's medium yellow, but I decided to go all in with the crocus. All in, I'll let that dry, and then I'm gonna get over here. Trying to give you a better view. All right, that's it for the crocus. For now, there we go. I can do this. Moved over to the medium yellow. I just want to give this a little bit more depth. A little more visual interest. There you go. Looks cool. Officer, I did it because it looked cooler. All right. Damn it. Sorry. I'm gonna give that a moment to dry, and then it is this one that's got, yeah, that's the one that's got the big gap on both sides. So I want to work with that. Red. cannot for the life of me, sorry I went so silent there. I made the mistake of putting on blues. But I cannot for the life of me think of what kind of flower this is. It's got kind of the puffball top. And I couldn't, I've lost the name. But it's a very different kind of petal, as you can see. I don't like the way I did that one. If I can cover it up. Good old, can I cover it up? Probably. All right, let me see it just for a little bit extra. Here we go. Look at that. Look at that. Just a little extra depth. That'll look. Cool whenever it is fired. All right, get rid of that. And then the last thing I want on this one, you know, I don't think I want that blue to go with the red. I want this purple. Just the same feathering, barely get any on it. Just don't want very much. And then I start at the center and pull it out while lifting it up. Which is exactly how I did the other ones. I'm just not going anywhere but the center with the purple. With the red, I worked my way out. And remember, folks, I'm making this up as I go along. Just in that I don't have a design plan. All right, that'll work. It'll work. But you can tell right off that the yellow one needs a center. It just looks weird. So I'm going to grab the brown. Dark brown, light brown. I should have just brought all of these, I guess. The black, just all of them. Just bring them all. Bring them all. There we go. What I want is the dark brown. Just a little. In fact, I don't even think I want this paintbrush. Barely getting any on here. I'm tapping it so it's almost like sunflower seeds. I'm filling it in pretty well. The other one. And this is a preferential thing. You wouldn't, I mean, obviously all of this is the design that I decided to do. And you can do whatever design you pleased. Moon and sun and stars would also be cool. Your favorite team, all kinds of different stuff. This is just kind of what I decided off the top of my head. Okay. You could do all kinds of other stuff too. I could put leaves off of this, viney stuff, but I'm also trying to keep this within, you know, thoughtful about if we were doing this within a class and you want each of these to, you're going to have 3 of these in a 3-hour time period. I mean, so you don't really have to rush in any means, by no means, but it does affect how much you're going to do. Now I'm trying to decide what I'm going to do on the inside. Oh, got it. Okay. Got it. I got it. More crocus and a bigger brush. Oh, warning. Unstable connection. That's what my computer said. Unstable connection. Should not talk about me that way. Okay. Let me get some of this crocus in the lid so I can use it a little bit more effectively. There we go. So, what I'm going to do here is, hopefully, maybe, we're gonna, no, here. Why don't you come closer so you can watch me succeed or fail in real time? I'm gonna try to do the flowerish thing here. Oh, that looks way more like a brush stroke than the flower here. Sorry. Trust the process. Shouldn't be back to that one. There we go. That's more like it. Messy. I'm just filling in the space between with the other yellow. Ooh, and that's when you really become aware that some of your spaces were junk. And I think that was equidistant. cover the bottom in a nice even layer. And up the side, just a little. Just a little. I think I'm gonna go ahead and let it shine on through like it is. And what I mean by that is where you can see the pottery through the greenware. I'm okay with that. I kind of like it. Yeah, I think we're going to keep this more sunny. Actually, get a little bit more medium yellow. Just one more little. Said that. Let me just do one little medium yellow around the edge here. And then I've got one more touch I want to do, and then we're going to do gloss glaze. I'm going to take a little bit of this red. Trying to get the paintbrush pretty dry. Can't see it, but I'm taking it and flicking it in my fingers to just kind of get it dried off and separate some of the bristles. It worked, but it worked too small. All right, and out. Sometimes talking to yourself about what you're trying to accomplish. Come on, little, there we go. That's it. Not too much, I pressed down too hard. Dang it. Come on. Gently. It's like the bend and snap, the pull and lift. So it's nothing like the bend and snap, but there's always room for a Clueless reference. Wait, that's Legally Blonde. Ha! No, that was Clueless. I'm clueless. All right. Actually, I'm focused. All right. Now, ultramarine. I'm going to tap this on the edge and pull it out and make sure I don't have too much on the paintbrush so it doesn't run. This stuff's pretty hard pressed to run, honestly. I don't want it to. I don't want it to flick either. Did I do it? No. Okay, good. Fearful. It's one thing whenever you mess up with glaze on greenware, just kind of messed up. And it's just how it is. You've just chosen a new direction. I mean, there are things you can do, but you've pretty much just changed direction. You know what I should have done? Can I still do it? This should be blue also, not the green line down at the, yeah, if I wait for that to dry. I really wanted this to get nice and detailed, this rim. It should match. Oh, crap. That wasn't too bad. Could have made this thicker and easier, though. No. Note to self. Don't do this next time. Better look cool. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Thank goodness you can't see my face. It's the joy of being live in a class. You actually get to not get to. Probably shouldn't tell you that. No one will ever come. Actually, I'm doing a lot less of this. I'm more talking and helping and not doing at quite the same level. Although I am. Ah. Okay, like that more. Now it's got the blue borders. Okay. Now I have to decide if I'm gonna glaze over this with anything other than just the gloss, or if I'm just gonna let the pottery kind of shine on through. And it is really pretty. There's nothing wrong with unglazed pottery. It's really beautiful, and sometimes just seeing that can be lovely. And I kind of wonder if that's what I want to do with this, is just not even do anything else to the outside other than put the seal and the gloss glaze on it. Because clay can be really, really pretty just on its own. I do have some others over here, but I think that's what I do with this bowl. I think it'll be nice with just this Pure Brilliance transparent gloss. I'm going to bring another one over because this particular jar is almost out. I have another kind also, but we'll use this. This is, there we go, Duncan Pure Brilliance Clear Brushing Transparent Gloss. Just like to put it, even whenever I use, one of the Amco or Mako glazes that does have a good gloss to it, that is formulated that way, I still like to put a layer of this on top, just kind of as a final assurance, I guess. I like the way it behaves in the kiln, and I like what it does to the clay. So I like to use a little bit. All right, so let me do the inside first, just because I've been using this all day, because this is what I've been doing all day. Make sure there's nothing in there there really shouldn't be, but it's going down for posterity after this, folks. You don't want any puddles, because those puddles will potentially become permanent. They might heat out in the kiln, but I have found most of the time, if there is a pattern in this glaze, it will show up in the kiln. It will show up after the kiln, I should say. So really make sure you smooth it out. Isn't that crazy? We're just painting over everything and it's turning into this, like, looks like Slimer got hold of it. Ghostbusters. Ectoplasm. What the heck? It is a weird experience for the first time to do this. Like, what did I just do to my pottery? I just worked on that. But it's all good. Now I'll tell you what's not all good. There was one, and I wish I remembered the name of it. I wish I'd actually kept it. I threw it away. But there was one underglaze I had, a black underglaze. And I don't care how long you let it dry. At least, now I never tried it on greenware. I only ever tried it on bisware, because this has been a while. But I don't care how long you let it dry. Once this stuff hit it, it's smeared. That's really frustrating. So needless to say, like I said, that stuff went away after it destroyed a couple pieces. It's like, oh, I don't like you anymore. But it might even have worked fine on greenware, just because it's so thirsty. Thirsty. That means very different things to very different people. Anyway. Painting on outside. And this is really it. Once we get this stuff on, this then just goes to the side to dry. And in an abundance of caution, there I said it, I will probably let this dry for another week before I fire it, just because it's better safe than sorry, really. And that's really, I'm sure, overkill, given when this original piece was made, built. But I don't like to mess around. And that is something you have to be even more cautious of when you're doing a single fire. So. Hey, can I get away? Don't say it. Don't say it. If I say it, there's no way it'll happen. But I'm going to now. Wondering if I can get away without having to open and shake a new bottle of this stuff. But I shouldn't say anything. Should not say anything. Should not say anything. It'll be interesting for me to go back and listen to this. I think this is the first time, certainly the first time standing in this place, but maybe the first time, maybe, that I've done a recording with the air conditioning one up here. I love being up here with the doors and the windows open, and it's so pretty. It's just lovely, and the temperature allows it a lot. But, whoo, doggy. Turn on the air conditioning because I'm a wuss. Actually, I'm not a wuss, but oh my goodness. But I don't know what that sounds like for you all, was my point. That was my point. Look at that, you can't see anything anymore. Ta-da! It's like we didn't do a thing. It's like we didn't do a thing. And I will, actually, that looks pretty darn dry already. I was going to say let it dry really well. Nah, it's not that dry. You really want it dry, like dry. And then I might come back and do another, since this is all this has on it and it doesn't have another, it only has underglaze. It doesn't have another glaze under it that's going to have a gloss or a seal. I'll probably come back and do another one of these here. Really, this is going pretty quick, but I still want to, again, that 15 minutes, haha, that's what we talked about last time, which was probably going to turn into a couple of days now. But no, seriously, I'm probably going to give this about 15 minutes to really dry, and then come back and do this again. And then the next thing will be to put it in the kiln, other than what I forgot to do, which was do some sort of signature down here, since I'm going to do another layer. Put that there. Here's an old. There's a lot of different ways you can do this. I do have my signature, like my quick signature that I do, that you'll see on the bottom of a lot of my stuff. But what I'm going to write on this is, and see, it still lets me. This is long, but it's letting me write really nicely. Should give myself a little more room for that one, but it worked out. A little bit more than I wanted to make cracked off there, but we'll see. E's are tough. There we go. SerendipitySellers.com. Takes a hot minute. Be a good stamp, but there's something magical about actually etching it on there yourself. And we didn't even mess up the rim. So there you go. So that is a signature and a glaze. We did underglaze and we did the Pure Brilliance seal on top of it. And we're going to let it dry. I'm going to give this another, still kind of wet in there, 10 or so, and then do it again since I didn't do a different glaze on it. And then it'll get fired. I fire most of my stuff just between cone 5 and cone 6, so it's actually kind of between the two. So it'll get fired, and then you'll be able to see it, and that probably will be another week or so before I'll put it in to fire, just because I like to be safe like that. So thank you for joining me, and then I'll show you the last step when it is finished. Have a great day.